is good? What is Gucci? It is your girl, Paige, Paige Cakes. If you're nasty, honestly, I don't know who I am right now because apparently I'm having an identity crisis. I think it's the perils of actually turning almost 30. Anywho, today we are talking about a completely different drama today. I know I said I wasn't going to be that person to talk about TikTok drama, but I actually think that this is one thing that definitely needs to be discussed, which is how we are treating these kids. And I'm saying kids not to be patronizing, but I'm calling them kids because that's exactly what they are, minors. Obviously, it should be of no surprise to you guys that we are going to be talking about the D'Amelio sisters. I don't know if that's how you pronounce their name, honestly, because I'm just too old for this shit. But they've recently found themselves in a little bit of controversy due to being quote unquote bratty and basically just little self-entitled little shits. And for some bizarre reason, the internet is absolutely losing their mind over this. But before we get into all that drama, please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. If you don't, I don't give a shit anyway, but you know, all engagement is good, honey. Leave a comment, keep the discussion popping, and make sure that you subscribe with the notification bell on so that you never miss another video from the Petty Paige channel. Without further ado, let's get straight into all of this mess straight after this intro.
Petty. Most of these bitches is 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 petty. Most of these petty. Most of these bitches is petty. Petty. Most of these bitches is petty.
Okay, so if you don't know where all of this drama started out from, the D'Amelio family have a family channel here on YouTube that has over 1.12 million subscribers. Well, basically 3 days ago, they started a new series on their family channel, which is Dinner with the D'Amelios. And their first mystery guest was none other than James Charles. Well, this video got over 8.9 million views. However, as you can tell, the likes ratio was only 77% on this video. And the reason for that being is because a lot of people didn't like the way that the D'Amelio sisters were acting throughout this dinner. Okay, so let me Bob Ross paint you a scene right now. The D'Amelio family, who are extremely rich at this moment in time, have a personal chef make them loads of nice yummy food. And the girls, mainly Dixie, did not like the food at all. Started making gagging noises at the table before eventually leaving and puking outside. Which Charli responds with, "Do they have any dino nuggets?" Which a lot of people felt was extremely disrespectful to the chef. Then later on in the video, Charli goes on to say that she would really like to get to 100 million followers before the end of the year. And James Charles made a quip or a joke, if you will, basically saying, "Oh honey, is the 95 million not enough for you?"
I wish I had like more time. Because imagine if I hit 100 mil a year after hitting a mil.
Was the 95 not enough for you?
Well, I was just like saying like even number.
Well, and honestly, after that was said, all hell broke loose on the internet. And basically, that is it. That is literally it. And for some bizarre reason, people are losing their mind over this incident on social media. A lot of people have been calling for the cancellation of the D'Amelio family, the sisters included, both of them. And Charli has reportedly lost over 1 million followers on her TikTok account purely down to this public indiscretion. And then to top that off, Trisha Paytas, the internet's biggest mouthpiece for some bizarre reason, decides to take to her TikTok and say that she thought that the girls were really acting bratty and entitled and reflecting how James Charles acts, and it's pretty much down to the parents and their lack of good parenting, which high-key I believe is not Trisha's place to state or say, because Trisha Paytas is not a parent and she's never had to raise a child, and the only thing that Trisha Paytas has ever had to raise is penises. Now let's be honest, honey. Hey, this is no shade in the hoe game, I'm a hoe too, but honey, there is absolutely nobody on this planet who can out-hoe you.
Okay, so I just did a reaction to this video of the D'Amelios and James Charles having dinner with a chef, and I've seen lots of comments from Dixie saying, like, just kind of being really combative and bratty towards people who had criticism of the girls. There's a chef making them food, they're being really disrespectful, just spitting out the food, and they're 19, they're young, but I do think since they are role models on such a big platform, they should be called out when they need to be humbled a little, because you see this happen all the time. People get really famous, a lot of followers really quickly. They think they're entitled to 100 million. They complain that they only have 95 million followers. They complain that they have a personal chef, and it's just unbecoming. And I don't think it's something to be embarrassed about because they are young girls, but to be catty and bratty in the comments when people are just like, hey, we're kind of like, this isn't cool behavior. It's just trying to help them learn and ultimately not get canceled, because this kind of attitude, it won't get you far. Period. Let me know what you think in the comments.
Anywho, basically Charli took to her social media and was crying. She was sobbing. She was really upset over the situation, and it's not even what happened, it's the death threats that happened later. So basically Charli is stating that she has been receiving death threats and people have been, you know, inciting harm on her and her family, all due to this. And I have to say, after looking at Charli's comments on her TikTok, it looks like a lot of people are going with that mob mentality and are just straight up attacking this young girl.
Honestly, like seeing how people reacted to this, like, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. Like, this is messed up stuff that people are saying. Like, people telling me to hang myself, people just like blatantly disrespecting the fact that I'm still a human being is not okay at all. And people making fun of the fact that it's just, like, that's not okay. You can hate on me for whatever I've done, but the fact that all of this is happening because a misunderstanding, like, I just feel like that's not okay. And if this is the community that I'm in and the community that I put myself in, I don't know if I want to do that anymore.
At the end of Charli's little explosion of emotion, she then goes on to say this about Trisha Paytas.
The other thing is, some people are just getting involved just to get involved. And, like, I'm just going to say it, Trisha Paytas, like, this is not, sorry, just, you have been completely rude to me multiple times, saying she doesn't have a personality, she can't dance, she's basic. Like, you have your own problems, please stop worrying about mine. And that's all I have to say on that. Quite honestly, I just, like, please stop talking about me. You're not a very nice person. Sorry.
To which Trisha responded straight back directly on TikTok and said this.
So Charli called me out on her live. Now Charli is a minor, so I'm going to try and just handle this with literal kid gloves because she is a child and I understand that. It's concerning how her parents raised her and that she's hanging out with James Charles because now she has adopted James Charles' mentality of the keep my name out of your mouth. She told me to stop talking about her and that she's been rude that I've been rude when she's literally the most followed person on social media. That's what she signed up for. And I haven't been rude. I've given constructive criticism as far as this situation goes because I really do feel for her. And I do think it is her parents' poor raising that gave them the manners that they have. And she lumped me in a category of people telling her to herself, which I've never encouraged, nor have I encouraged hate or anything. I was always saying stuff with constructive criticism.
Following Charli's live stream, social media was a real mixed bag of peanuts. Honestly, there was like some Himalayan nuts in there. There was some macadamia nuts in there. There was a couple of peanuts, some hazelnuts. Like, you really couldn't work out what kind of nutty the internet was really going to give you. Because on one side of social media, there seems to be a lot of people who empathize with the young girls, understanding that the expectations placed on them is extremely high, especially since they have to grow up on social media, whereas a lot of people are saying that they should have been cancelled from long ago. What for? I honestly don't know, but apparently these girls should have been cancelled ages ago. And there also seems to be a lot of people just sitting here genuinely reveling in the fact that somebody so big is finally getting taken down. But then there's a bunch of other people who are blaming the parents, saying that she shouldn't have this much fame and popularity at such a young age and parents should have tried to stop it sooner. So honestly, I don't think anybody truly knows who to blame on social media. So what's my conclusion? Well, before we get into my conclusion, let's have a quick word from one of our sponsors. Today's video is sponsored by Juvias Place. Now, as I told you guys last week, Juvias Place is having an absolutely massive sale across their website. And I know that a lot of you guys have used my code PETTY, that's PETTY at checkout for an additional 10% off your order. Well, this November for me marks an entire year of Juvias Place sponsoring yours truly. And honestly, I could not be any more appreciative. So because of that, I decided that I am going to do a giveaway, and that giveaway will be for a $100 gift voucher for Juvia's place. Meaning that, honey, you can go over there, buy whatever you want, use my code, and with a gift voucher, bitch. So in order to enter, unfortunately, you do have to have an Instagram account. All you have to do is go over to my Instagram, which will be linked down below, hit that follow, and make sure that you leave a pig emoji under my most recent post. From there, I will randomly select a winner on Sunday. So make sure that you have your DMs open, because a bitch will be DMing you. If you didn't catch the rules or want them in more detail, they will be in the description box as well as in the comment section down below. So thank you so much to Juvia's Place for sponsoring me for an entire year. This has been crazy. I really do appreciate your continued support. So back to the conclusion. Okay, so James Charles actually had quite a lot to say. He posted onto social media and he said the following: "This Charli situation is not sitting right with me. 100 million followers in 1 year, and y'all expect her to know how to be a perfect role model? Death threats because she's a picky eater and made a joke about a milestone? 30-plus-year-olds dragging someone half their age. Feels familiar, sister."
Absolutely disgusting. I don't need Charli, and Charli does not need me. I became friends with the D'Amelio family as a whole very, very early on because this is all very, very new to them, and I wanted to be a friend and a mentor in any way that I possibly could. And Charli and I, despite not being the same age, had one thing in common, which was coming to the spotlight at a very, very young age. This is something that Trisha has never experienced, because the only reason she is in the spotlight is because she has said racist things. She said the N-word, she's done blackface, she offended the trans community, she offended the DID community, she said Hitler wasn't that bad of a guy, voted for Trump, and has started a fight with about every single other creator on this platform. You are in no position to be talking about me and my career, so I highly recommend that you stop starting fights with people that are half your age, pack it up, and work on holding yourself and your best friends around you, because they and you are the problem.
Honestly, I think he's 100% correct. Personally, I genuinely feel like everybody is just dogpiling on these two young girls, and I'm just like, maybe it's because I'm older or whatever, maybe it's because I'm a millennial and my time is over or whatever, but like, I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, like, guys, do you guys not remember being 16 years old? Like, I remember being 16 years old. Let me tell you something, girl. When I was 16 years old, I moved out of my parental home and I got myself an apartment, and I was living by myself, and I truly only then really began to understand how much my mum did for me. And I didn't realize I had to pay for things like gas, electricity, water, and all this kind of stuff. I was thrusted into the real world and like thrusted into becoming an adult because I thought that I was grown enough and I did not want to pay attention to my parents' rules. So a lot of this stuff that Trisha's saying about bad parenting, I'm like, no, they are actually really good parents. They're very much involved. They are always there, and they are not allowing their kids to be in adult situations without their parental guidance. What I think a lot of people are not understanding is that these girls are growing up on the internet. So a lot of their mistakes that any teenager would usually make, like being an entitled little brat, being rude, being gross at the dinner table, all of these kind of things are now under public scrutiny. But instead of it just being one of those things like teenage angst, growing pains, we're now just cancelling people over it. And as far as I'm concerned, honestly, 1 million followers to Charli is like she dribbled a bit of water out of her mouth. Like, she didn't spill the whole cup. It's like a dribble. She like dribbled a tiny little bit of subscribers. She will be 100% fine. She's not going to lose brand deals or endorsements over that, not even slightly. But the fact that there are literal grown adults reveling in this honestly makes me sick to my fucking stomach. Do you not remember being a teenager, or were we all saints? Because I know for one thing's for damn sure, I definitely wasn't. Also, which is like even more irritating to me, there are other people on this TikTok app who should have been cancelled long before that, aka Mr. Tony over there. We got Miss Zoe Laverne out here acting a goddamn fool, saying that she's proud to be doing the stuff that she's doing, and y'all have not cancelled. They have not lost nearly half as many subscribers, followers, or whatever on their social media platforms as these two girls have over a really attitude at dinner. People were more excited to cancel two girls over a reaction to wanting to hit a milestone within a certain amount of time than they were over an alleged child predator. Right, okay, cool, but And especially when it comes to Charli. Charli has the biggest social media following like ever. I don't actually think that there's anybody else who has a bigger social media following. And that has happened in such a short period of time. We are talking less than a year. Do you think that this young girl is able to genuinely fathom her influence, genuinely fathom what 100 million people even look like? No. So is she gonna act like an entitled little bratty brat? For sure. I mean, goddamn, this is me showing my millennial age right now, but I remember when Justin Bieber was acting like an entitled little bratty brat, but nobody cancelled him. And that's another person who grew up in front of our eyes. But if he had the same access to social media that these girls did, I am sure he would have been cancelled over and over and over again.
Justin Bieber was at his Toronto hotel where he decided to spit and hawk a loogie over the balcony where his fans were waiting for him below.
And I almost feel bad for these kids having to grow up in this social media era, because I worry about the impact that all of this stuff will have on their mental health, and that is for real, for real. Anyway, that's about it from me. Tell me what it is that you guys think in the comment section down below. If you like this video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up if you like it. All of my social media links will be listed down below, as well as the rules to my giveaway competition with Juvia's Place. I love you guys forever and ever, and until next time, guys, it's been Paige.
Most of these bitches is petty.